Omar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. CS, you have mentioned that the TSC prioritizes the old graduates. I'm just wondering whether there is a way of mopping the old, all of them. Because although you are saying they prioritize, it's the fact that they are given 10 points, 5 points, or 2 points, depending on the year of graduation. It's the highest. But there are so many other points that are given there are so many other parameters that are used, such that even if you are a graduate of 2010 and somebody gets more parameters on 2015, the one of 2015 simply passes and you are left. And this is the cry on the ground. The cry on the ground is that it is not a first-come, first-served employment system. So is there a way in which you can actually say anybody who has been there for 10 years is mopped? Because they're all graduates, they have all graduated, whether they are P1s or graduate teachers, if you can mop the past. Because right now there is a complete mix. And we do appreciate that there is a complex way of hiring teachers, but until we mop those who have done, they will continue to cry. And this question is coming out of really a cry from the ground, that there are people who graduated in 2010 and they are still out there, and out of the formulas that we have used, we have managed to get people of 2015, people of 2020 coming in, and there has to be a way of mopping all this so that we don't have a graduate who has been on the ground for more than 10 years. One cried to me and said, I am now 34 years old. Very soon, I will not be employable. And yet I have been on the ground since I graduated. And that one graduated when he was 23. So this is now 11 years, and they're out there. Is there a way in which you can mop all this? Thank you.
CS, answer those 3 questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the question of the technical college in Isiolo and Garbatru, as I indicated, we have many students who need to join these colleges, so it is the ministry's priority to ensure that these colleges that are already done are completed and students admitted to them, because we need them, because we have more students in that subsector. To that extent, we've actually made a requisition for resources to complete the institutions that are incomplete so that they can admit students, and to ensure that all the ones that are coming up, the 52 others that are remaining, are also done and completed, to ensure that we can absorb these students. Our estimation is that if we have all these institutions operating, the TVET sector can absorb up to 2 million students, and that is our target in the next 2-3 years. That's what we are working toward. So we'll take that into account. We'll ensure that those colleges that are completed, including the one in Isiolo, are done, completed, and operationalized, including getting equipment. For example, in terms of equipment, if you go to government ministries, any government ministry, you'll find a lot of vehicles, obsolete equipment that is thrown all over, that is normally sold for nothing. We've done a paper to allow us, as the TVET sector, to be allowed to take all those vehicles and spread them, and other equipment in hospitals that are obsolete, to spread them across our institutions so that they can be used for learning. That way we'll be able to have equipment at an affordable cost in a number of our institutions. So we are trying to come up with programs to ensure that even as we are hiring or we are getting other equipment, what we have is also utilized. To the question of whether we supervise VTCs, yes, we do. In terms of policy and standardization of programs, that is done under the TVET department, and so they are supposed to be aligned. And that, I think I answered that question when I answered the very first question relating to what the TVETA and TVET CDAC does. The programs and policies are done by us. So if it's not being done, we'll ask our regional director for TVET to be able to ensure that he's hands-on in that area, to ensure that we keep to the standards. To Senator Karungo's question, we have not done a projection for 5 years, and that's a very welcome recommendation, and I've asked the TSC team that is here to undertake that exercise. It is better for planning. It helps us to predict. It helps us also to find out which subject areas do we need more teachers, so that we can plan our lives and our programs better. So it's a welcome suggestion, and we have taken it into account. Thank you, Senator Karungo. To Senator Kamar's question, it is true that they are supposed to take into account, prioritize those who graduated earlier. But up to date, that has not really worked, because wherever you go, you'd find somebody who tells you, I graduated 25 years ago and I have not been employed. What we are grappling with currently is to see whether we can come up with a policy where we are going to have an affirmative action, where we are, as you correctly suggest, we mop up the older ones who graduated and give them jobs, even without taking them through those particular many criteria, so that we are able to spread them, to spread whatever spaces that is available once or twice in the next 1 or 2 years, so that we can mop all of them out, so that we do not have this cry. So we are looking into working towards ensuring to come up with even an affirmative action to just support them, because we are having people retiring before they get employed, so which is very, very frustrating. So thank you for the suggestion, Madam Kamar. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
So, Honorable CS, is it that you are giving commitment that the next 1 year or 2 you'll be able to mop up that list of the undergraduates? It's a very sensitive matter that maybe the former CS education would like to know whether it is in your plan that you are committing to do that.
Yes, it is, Mr. Speaker, and if you note from the question was clear that we needed to have provided the number of teachers who are not employed from each county and their year of graduation. We didn't get that, and we have asked that TSC undertakes that exercise and gives us that information, because we were only given a general provision. Once we have that number, once we know this is the number that graduated 10 years ago, this is the number that graduated 15 years ago, it would be easy to make a decision on how to deal with that issue. That affirmative action, I'm committing to it, because there is no point to roll out graduates and not have a plan on how to support them. Thank you.
Very well. Can we go to the next question? Senator Cheluyot, Majority Leader, do you have a supplementary question? Then we go to the, but I can't see Senator Muma. Yeah? Can we ask those questions in the next 064? Okay, Senator Alu.
Thank you, Speaker, for accommodating me, because I realize question 64 may not really be that related to what I wanted to ask, because the Minister was still speaking on this issue of TSC. I felt this would be the appropriate time. So I want to appreciate this opportunity. I welcome you, Minister, for the chance to interact with the representatives of the people. I have a specific question with regards to TSC. It's something that probably you could answer now or grant an opportunity to send in the feedback later, given that it's a bit, it will require some data. I know, Mr. Speaker, that TSC has an absorption program spanning different years in different regions. And you know, part of the hallmarks of the broad-based government, Mr. Speaker, is to equalize the country and make every Kenyan feel part and parcel. I know that there are parts of this country, by advantage of proximity to power or one way or the other, they have teachers that have been absorbed, graduates up to as late as I think 2017 or 2018. While the other parts of the country where you find graduates even as late as 2010, 11, and things like that. Can the Minister provide this data from TSC with a breakdown of all the 47 counties, Mr. Speaker, on what is the year of graduation that TSC now is implementing across those counties, and the reason for the disparity, where you find in certain regions, very recent graduates are being granted the opportunity, while in other parts of the country, Mr. Speaker, there are graduates who are almost nearing retirement age, while yet to get an opportunity to serve. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mariam Sheikh Omar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister. What is the plan? Is there a plan the Ministry has to integrate madrasa system to the current system we have? And is there any institutions that can train the madrasa system? And if, how many teachers has been trained for madrasa system? Thank you.
Senator Betty Montet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. Mine is Mr. Cabinet Secretary, you've told us, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, you've told us that you've enrolled about 700 students to TVET and TVC centers across the country. I would wish if you could give us or even provide that data of the numbers county by county. We are doing an inquiry currently and we are finding it so difficult to get to know the numbers from each county. So if you could provide that data, we'll appreciate. Thank you. I submit.
Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. CS, my question follows the conversation you had this morning. You had a conversation about CS Treasury and a complaint about the distribution of resources in his to counties. Would you kindly submit to this to the Senate a list of the distribution of the recent employment by county? Honorable Speaker, and I think this is something we need to ask everyone, so we stop pointing fingers tribally in one county or the other. We need to start holding ministries accountable on how they are equitably distributing opportunities in this country. So if we can have a list of the employment of teachers in the last 2 years and how they have been distributed by county. Thank you very much.
Honorable Senators, I hope you are not expecting those statistics right away, but maybe the CS can give commitments on when to provide them. Honorable CS.
Mr. Speaker, I might not be able to provide the statistics, but let me say that the question by the Honorable Leader of Majority, Senator Cheriot, is actually the same question that was in the paper, where we were required to submit the teachers who are registered, who are not employed, when they graduated, which county they come from. And that information wasn't provided, but we've asked TSC to prepare that response, then we'll submit it to the House. Because, as I said, it will be able to inform us on what we need to do to correct the disparities and to ensure that there is fairness and equity in this employment process. So we'll be able to provide that answer. We've requested them to undertake that exercise. On the question of madrasa, Section 95 of the Basic Education Act provides for integration of madrasa into the main school system. And let me confirm that NACONEC is finalizing a study on how to undertake this exercise, and once it is completed, we will be able to submit. The data relating to issues of employment per county, per area, and that information we do not have, but we are getting it, and we are working towards in future to ensure that this is information that is available, because we are working towards getting a new education management information system called KEMIS, which will be having all this information at the touch of a button, so that we know where we are at any one time. That will also deal with the issue of distribution of resources relating to how many teachers we've employed in the last 2 years. Let me submit and state that that information will be provided, and we'll send it through the Education Committee for the purposes of information to the Senate. Thank you. I submit.
Yes, can you give maybe the time frame that we might be able to get that information?
How long will it take? To get this information, 2 weeks. Are you sure? Mr. Speaker, in about 2 weeks, though, as you are aware, there is a transition taking place at TSC, so we'll try and see that that is done within the next 2 weeks.
Honorable Senators, let's now go to the next question, question 064, to be asked by Senator Boni Karwane. Doctor, you do one thing at a time. If you're in the Senate, you just be cautious and you listen to the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
You cannot serve your constituents from the chamber. So go directly and ask your question.
Mr. Speaker, they are very watchful these days. You know, I represent a county where over 60% are the youth, and where literacy levels is 91%, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, they follow us real time. But thanks for accommodating me. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, can you allow me to just throw in a little question on very important issue that you had raised before I asked this question, the one that has just ended.
ahead.
Yes. Minister, please help us. We are under a lot of pressure as political leaders from our youth, for good reason. Just a few days ago, a minister is reported to have conned the youth for employment abroad. And now, the trouble we are under at the moment, Minister, help us, is that we hear leaders are selling forms for employment to these young people to be employed as teachers. If you have that kind of information, please make a public statement so that you protect all these senators who I know none of them has sold any letter because they don't even have them. Mr. Speaker, my question is as follows, my substantive one, is that when will the government review the remuneration of primary school teachers to reflect their now expanded responsibilities under the competency-based curriculum and or competency-based education, which now include overseeing pre-primary, primary, and junior secondary schools? And two, could the Cabinet Secretary also state whether workload assessment and job evaluation have been done to inform such a review? And if so, could you please provide details of the same?
Yes, Mr. CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We will, as a ministry, endeavor to work with you to ensure that such issues like selling of forms, which is a criminal activity, is actually dealt with and sorted out, because we need to be doing things right, and we need to just take the responsibility for doing right things. So we will work together and ensure that that is sorted out. That's why we are saying, if we get the right data from TSC, when the employment is being done, everybody would know that this is the number that is available, and you know the information is there on a portal on the touch of a button, and there are no dark spaces in various places where then you do not get the information that is required. And even the public would know exactly what is going on. So to your question, Mr. Speaker, the Commission signed the 2021-2025 collective bargaining agreement with the teachers' unions in the public sector. The CBA stipulates the terms of service of the teachers in the public sector, including the remuneration of head teachers in our primary schools. The 2021-2025 CBA, which will terminate on 30th of June 2025. To this end, the Commission has commenced negotiations for the 2025-2029 CBA in line with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission guidelines. Accordingly, in line with Article 234B of the Constitution, the Commission has submitted proposal to CRC together with the request to conduct job evaluation in the public teaching sector, noting the new learning areas under CBC in order for it to inform the kind of remuneration that the teachers should get with this added responsibility. Mr. Speaker, to the second part of the question, the Commission and SRC are planning to conduct a comprehensive job evaluation in the financial year 25-26 for the entire teaching service to ascertain the work of every job in the teaching service. The need for job evaluation has been informed by the change in the job content, the input and output factors, as well as the new jobs introduced by the competency-based education. The same will be done in a collaborative manner, and all the stakeholders will be involved as required by law. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni, Dr. Boni Karwale.
Mr. Speaker, that is a straightforward answer, and I thank the Minister. But please, in your review, do consider bringing into consideration the new things introduced, including deductions for housing, increased deductions for SHA. It's not nice in communities like mine, where we've got a huge population of teachers, to see young people earning a salary, Mr. Minister, of 3,000 shillings after all deductions are done. We are treating our workers very badly, and they take care of our children. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's get supplementary questions from Senator Joe Nyutu and then Gloria Oroba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my question is related to the question by the Senator for Kakamega to the CS, that because now under junior secondary or junior school as it's referred, that, Mr. Speaker, the content there, the syllabus, is basically high school syllabus. And so the teachers teaching in junior secondary, and I'm aware that they are qualified as they are secondary school teachers. But do we have we done enough assessment? Have we sent enough teachers to handle different subjects because of subject specialization, Mr. CS? Exactly what is the position in our junior secondary schools as far as handling subjects is concerned? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Gloria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a supplementary question. Congratulations, Waziri, for the work that you're doing in that ministry. I am privileged to know that you are working silently but serving Kenyans. My supplementary question is that you have mentioned that there's going to be, you have started conversations in terms of the 2025-2029 CBA. And I was wondering, is there consideration for learning and development for these teachers in terms of, I know you are negotiating the payments, the salaries and things like that, but we have had concerns where some teachers would like to be facilitated to improve on their skills, to improve on their education or something like that. Is that going to be considered when you're having those conversations? Also, in terms of the job evaluations, we recently saw that we had issues in terms of bringing outsiders to teach drama festival, and now there's even conversations on sports. When you're doing the job evaluations, some of the feedback that we got as leaders is that the teachers who are talented or who are skilled in terms of sports or creative arts, they don't get remunerated. So therefore they say, we are not going to do an additional task that is going to be outsourced anyway. So in these job evaluations, can there be considerations such that those teachers who are actually within the creative arts can actually be considered and treated in a manner where their skill, their art or sports or whatever can be appreciated and incentivized? That way, we can then say that we have qualified teachers who can train drama. Because as it stands now, We are getting drama teachers from the creative arts outside because most of the teachers don't have that skill, and the ones who have the skill are not compensated for it. So that is my additional question. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, we are in the month of May, which is the Mental Health Awareness Month, Mr. Speaker. And by mentioning that, I give my question to the CS, because CBC brought about a lot of responsibilities, administrative responsibilities, to the teachers, and especially head teachers, who are from a different curriculum to this new curriculum. Has the ministry considered the impact of CBC on the mental health and well-being of primary school head teachers? And what is it doing to cater for their mental health? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
CS, respond to those 3 questions, and we move to the next question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To Senator Newton's question, yes, an assessment was done to the content for the teachers who are handling junior school, and to that extent, a number of teachers have so far been retooled. A total actually of 220,000 teachers have been retooled in the whole of the CBC program to ensure that they are brought up to the standard to handle the content that is provided for in JSC and the other areas. And they are subject specific. But we still have shortfalls, we still have gaps. That's why we did an internship of 20,000 this year. And in the budget, we provided resources now for another 20,000 next year. So there is something that is being done to ensure that there is a retooling so that the teachers have the content, have the capacity to take our students